When someone doesn't value you anymore, try this simple trick and watch what happens. Old Stoic Wisdom. Welcome to Stoicism Win, where we dive deep into the complexities of human behavior, relationships, and the mind. Today, we're unpacking the age-old question. What can you do when someone stops seeing your worth? Have you ever felt overlooked or unappreciated by someone who once valued you deeply? It stings, doesn't it? But what if I told you there's a straightforward yet powerful change you can make that could shift the entire dynamic, leaving them surprised by the change? Stick around, because this subtle shift has the potential to change everything. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Xenia, Marcus Aurelius. Ready? Let's dive in. 1. Learning the art of saying no. There's a moment in life when you realize that some people don't value you the way they should. Whether it's in relationships, work, or friendships, this realization hits hard. But don't despair. There's a powerful tool in your arsenal that can change everything. The simple art of saying no. Saying no isn't just a rejection of someone's request. It's a declaration of your own worth. Too many times, people treat you as if your time, your energy, and your effort are endless. Why? Because they know you'll say yes. They know you'll take on more, even when it's not in your best interest. The old Stoic principles would tell you to protect your peace by setting boundaries, something you might be avoiding or simply unaware of. But here's the truth. When you don't say no, you're opening the door for people to take advantage of you. You've got to remember this. It is not selfish to set boundaries. It's not selfish to protect yourself. In fact, it's one of the most powerful things you can do. The Stoics, in their infinite wisdom, understood the importance of guarding your mental and emotional resources. They recognized that without boundaries, you become prey to others' whims. So if you want to shift the dynamic from one where you're being exploited to one where there is mutual respect, start by learning to say no. Establishing boundaries without guilt. Here's the kicker. Most people avoid saying no because they feel guilty. They worry about disappointing others, fearing that they'll be labelled as selfish, difficult, or uncooperative. But guess what? Guilt is a tool that others will use to manipulate you. They'll make you feel bad for needing time for yourself, for not dropping everything when they demand it. You must recognise that guilt isn't your responsibility to carry. The Stoic rules are clear on this matter. You must control your reactions to outside events, not let them control you. Learning to say no without guilt is a form of self-mastery. When you say no to something, you're not saying no to the person, you're saying yes to your own well-being. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that saying no makes you a bad person. That's not the case. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care. It means you value yourself enough to say yes to your own peace, your time, and your energy. That is the heart of Stoicism. Understanding that self-respect isn't negotiable. When you say no to others' demands, you teach them how to treat you. When you set boundaries, you communicate one very clear message: I value myself. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. The old Stoics knew that the foundation of any healthy relationship, whether with others or with yourself, is built on respect. You cannot pour from an empty cup, so learn to fill your own cup before offering it to others. By setting boundaries and learning to say no, you change the dynamic. Instead of being the person others rely on for everything, you become someone who is seen as reliable, yes, but also as someone who knows their worth. This transformation might shock those who have grown used to you being the yes man, but it's a change you need to make. Remember, this is not about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming a person who knows their limits and honors them. The old Stoic wisdom teaches us that life is too short to be spent pleasing others at the cost of your own well-being. By learning to say no, you create space for what truly matters: your health, your happiness, your peace of mind. So, next time you're faced with a request that doesn't serve your best interests, take a moment. Ask yourself, is this something that aligns with my values? If the answer is no, then say it. Without guilt, without hesitation. you'll find that the people who genuinely respect you will understand. And those who don't, they'll either learn to respect you or leave you alone. In the end, the most important lesson is this: your value is not determined by how much you give away, but by how much you choose to keep for yourself. Embrace the power of saying no and watch your life transform, just as the old Stoics would have wanted. Remember, you have the power to shape the relationships in your life. Don't let others decide your worth for you. Be the one who defines it. 2. The power of emotional detachment. When someone stops valuing you, it's natural to feel hurt, confused, and maybe even desperate. We've all been there, when a relationship or connection fades, and you're left wondering what went wrong. You may find yourself fixated on the why or the how of it all. You may even feel like you need to fix things, to win their approval, to restore things to how they once were. But here's where the old Stoic wisdom kicks in. Stop. Stop wasting your energy. Don't drown in emotional turmoil trying to understand someone else's indifference. You must let go. This is where emotional detachment comes into play. It isn't about shutting down your feelings or becoming cold-hearted. Instead, it's about choosing not to let your emotions control you. That's the power of emotional detachment. In life, we often chase validation from others, looking for their approval as if our happiness depends on it. But it doesn't. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught us that true peace doesn't come from others, it comes from within. The Stoic principles urge us to focus on what we can control, not on what others think or how they behave. When someone no longer values you, don't waste another second wondering why. Don't seek validation. Instead, practice detaching yourself from the need for their approval. This is your path to regaining control over your own emotions. You must learn to stop tying your happiness to others. Emotional detachment isn't about being indifferent, it's about freedom. You regain the power to choose how you react to the situation. That is the essence of Stoic wisdom. When you stop relying on someone else's validation, you begin to put your energy into the things that truly matter, things that fulfill you, things that bring you joy and peace. The Stoic rules are clear. We cannot control how others treat us, but we can control our own responses. Embrace this power. Instead of obsessing over someone else's feelings toward you, redirect your focus toward what nourishes your soul. Shift your mindset. Be present in the moment. Don't let emotional entanglements rob you of your peace. This isn't easy. Let's be honest, detaching emotionally from someone who's no longer valuing you is tough. But remember, this is where your strength lies. The moment you stop seeking external validation is the moment you reclaim your peace. The moment you stop worrying about what others think is the moment you stop giving away your power. That is how you regain control. Imagine this. Instead of constantly feeling frustrated or upset, you choose to distance yourself mentally. The more you practice this emotional detachment, the less power others have over your feelings. You must do this. It's a simple trick, but it can change everything. It's the kind of wisdom the old Stoics would applaud. They understood that external events are beyond our control, but our inner state? That's entirely up to us. As you begin to emotionally detach, you'll notice a remarkable shift. Your need for approval fades. You stop seeking attention. Instead, you start focusing on what truly brings you happiness. This shift is liberating. You no longer feel chained to someone else's perceptions of you. You're free to live life on your own terms, fully aware that your peace and happiness are self-determined. You must trust in yourself. Embrace the freedom that comes with emotional detachment. It's a path the Stoics laid out long ago, and it still works today. Don't let anyone else dictate how you feel. Take back control of your emotions, your peace, and your life. That's where true power lies. Stick with me, because this is just the beginning. We're moving forward with even more powerful tactics to leave a lasting impact on their minds. Get ready for the next move, one that deepens their connection to you in ways they can't ignore. If you are ready, comment, let's go. Let's move forward. 3. The value of self, respect, and assertiveness. When someone stops valuing you, It's because you've allowed them to disrespect your boundaries, time, and effort. You've given them the power to dictate how you're treated, and now it's time to reclaim control. You must understand this clearly. Self-respect is not negotiable. It's not something that is granted by others. It's something you demand for yourself. If people are no longer treating you with the respect you deserve, it's because you've let them overstep. And now you must step up. It's time to assert yourself. Set clear, firm boundaries and don't let anyone cross them. Stand your ground with unwavering strength. If they are treating you poorly, let them know that this will not be tolerated. Often, simple assertiveness is enough to trigger a change in their behavior. People who don't value you only continue because they believe there will be no consequence for their actions. By setting clear boundaries and standing firm in your worth, you force them to re-evaluate their actions. Let them know what you will and will not accept in your life. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the essence of Stoicism, taking full control over how you respond, no matter how others behave. When you assert your boundaries, you regain control over your life and relationships, and that is the ultimate victory. Recognizing a shift in power dynamics is critical when someone no longer values you. Relationships evolve, and often the balance of power changes without you even realizing it. In many cases, if you've been the one always giving, helping, or accommodating, you may have unintentionally placed yourself in a position where the other person starts to take your efforts for granted. They no longer see the value in what you bring to the table because they've become accustomed to receiving without giving back. To reverse this, you must step back. You must take a moment to remove yourself from the situation and allow them to experience the absence of your efforts. It's in this moment of absence that they will begin to realize what they have been taking for granted. The key here is to stop doing all the work. Don't continue to carry the weight of the relationship on your shoulders. Let them see the void your absence creates. This will force them to reflect. It will trigger a realization in them. Either they will rise to the occasion and make an effort, or they will let the connection fade into nothing. By taking a step back, you empower them to make a decision. Either they make an effort to value you properly, or the relationship naturally dissolves. And that's a victory in itself. This is not a sign of weakness. It's the power of self, respect, and boundaries in action. It's the application of Stoicism in your life. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You have the power to take control of your life and relationships by mastering your own behavior, not the behavior of others. In modern life, this is more relevant than ever. We live in a world where people constantly test our limits, whether it's in personal relationships, at work, or even in social settings. People will push you to see how much they can get away with. They will try to bend you to their will, to manipulate you into accepting less than you deserve. The key is to stop allowing this to happen. You must become the person who is unshakable in their self-respect, who is firm in their boundaries, and who will not tolerate disrespect. The lesson of Stoicism is about mastering yourself, about developing the emotional discipline to stand firm in your values. It's about refusing to let external circumstances determine your internal peace. When you set boundaries and assert your needs, you are not being harsh or demanding. You are being wise and protective of your own energy. You are showing others how to treat you, and you are teaching them that your time, your energy, and your respect are not to be taken for granted. This may be uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty for stepping back or asserting yourself, but let me be clear. There is no place for guilt in this. The world will take as much as you are willing to give, and people will test you to see how much you'll bend. But you must hold your ground. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond. By not tolerating disrespect, by not accepting mistreatment, you are maintaining your inner peace. This is how Stoicism wins. It teaches us to be masters of our own behavior and to live by principles, not by the whims of others. As Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." It's about being true to your values, even when others don't understand. The simple truth is this: You must stop being the one who gives endlessly without receiving. When you continue to give without boundaries, you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to cultivate healthy, balanced relationships. By standing firm in your value, you give others the chance to step up, to prove their worth, and to earn your respect. But if they fail to do so, you must be willing to walk away. This is the ultimate freedom, being able to stand tall, self-respecting, unshaken, no matter how others behave. You have mastered yourself, and that's the ultimate victory. Never forget that Stoicism is not about tolerating mistreatment. It's about understanding your worth, setting boundaries, and letting people show you their true intentions. Let them either rise to the challenge or fade away. But always remember, your self-respect is non-negotiable. In doing so, you win. You regain control over your life, your relationships, and ultimately your destiny. 4. Cultivating your inner strength through independence. This is where real power lies, within yourself. Take a step back from the noise of other people's opinions and invest in building your inner strength. Embrace the challenges that life throws at you and choose activities that challenge your abilities, push your boundaries, and force you to grow. Whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a long-forgotten passion, or establishing a new daily routine that sharpens your mind and spirit, these are the building blocks of an iron mind. It's not just about surviving the chaos, it's about thriving within it. When you start pushing yourself in new directions, you'll notice a shift, not just in your behavior, but in the way you carry yourself. Your confidence grows because you realize that you are not dependent on anyone else's recognition or approval. This is what true independence looks like. You become the architect of your own worth. The power of Stoic principles teaches us that we can't control how others treat us or how they value us, but we can control how we respond, how we carry ourselves through the world. Don't let someone else's lack of appreciation define your sense of self. That's a trap. Instead, invest your energy into cultivating your own independence. The more you fortify your mind and spirit, the more you begin to realize that you don't need anyone else's validation to feel strong or worthy. The more independent you become, the more you'll thrive, and not just in spite of the people who fail to appreciate you, but because of it. When you are grounded in your own sense of self, when you stand firm in the face of adversity, others start to see you differently, and in many cases, they'll start to value you more because they recognize that you don't seek their validation. You've already validated yourself. That's the paradox of independence. The more self-reliant you become, the more respect and value you command from others. But it's not about using that newfound respect as a means to get back at those who didn't value you in the first place. It's about understanding that your value isn't dependent on them. When you live by Stoic principles, you start to realize that the external world's judgment is fleeting, and that your own self-respect is the only thing that truly matters. And this shift in perspective changes everything. You stop needing to prove yourself to others. You stop letting their opinions dictate your worth. Instead, you become the man who stands tall, regardless of who appreciates him or not. You are your own anchor, your own source of strength. The most powerful part of embracing Old Stoic wisdom is realizing that you have complete control over your response. When someone doesn't value you, you don't need to respond with anger or frustration. Instead, you can choose to grow. You can choose to build your inner strength. You can choose to let that lack of appreciation become the fuel that drives you to become a better, stronger version of yourself. Build your mind, build your resilience, embrace those Stoic principles that remind you that life will always present challenges, but it's your response that defines you. Don't wait for others to appreciate you. Be the man who is solid, unshakable, and resilient because he has learned to value himself, not because someone else told him to. Take control of your life, build your inner strength, and make the kind of impact that can't be diminished by anyone's lack of appreciation. That's the true meaning of independence, and that's the way of the Stoic. Do you think this is true? Please comment yes or no in the comment section below so we can discuss it together, and don't forget to click the subscribe button to continue receiving more useful information. Thanks. 5. Instead of giving more, you need to give less. When someone no longer values you, your instinct might be to do more, be more available, prove your worth, or give more of yourself. But here's the twist. The real answer lies in doing the exact opposite. Stop trying so hard. The strongest thing you can do is step back. Yes, you heard me correctly. Step back. Instead of giving more, give less. When you create that space between you and the other person, something remarkable happens. They start to notice your absence. It's human nature to take something for granted when it's always there. But once it's gone, they'll realize the void and feel the sting of your absence. This isn't just about romantic relationships. It applies to friends, family, and even colleagues. The key here is not playing games or trying to manipulate the situation. It's about redirecting your energy toward yourself. You don't need to chase someone who doesn't value you. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Dive into the things that bring you joy, work on your growth, and put time into cultivating your own happiness. When you do this, you automatically draw attention. You become more independent, more confident, and more resilient. These traits, grounded in Old Stoic wisdom, naturally attract others because people are drawn to strength and authenticity. And when you shift your focus, you allow the dynamic to change. That's when the power begins to shift in your favor. This is also the perfect time to establish boundaries. When someone stops valuing you, it's often because they've overstepped an emotional boundary. You must show them, with your actions, what is acceptable and what is not. Don't let them treat you however they want. By setting boundaries, you demonstrate respect for yourself, and that is when people either step up and show you the respect you deserve, or they step away. And trust me, either outcome benefits you. If they rise to the occasion, your relationship can grow stronger. But if they fade, they make space for someone who truly appreciates you. That's the beauty of it. The real power of Stoic principles is knowing that when you take a step back, you regain control over the situation. Instead of chasing after someone who doesn't see your worth, you place your focus on what truly matters, your own growth. Remember, people will always value what they fear losing. And once you cultivate an iron mind, one built on self, respect, and personal growth, others will see the shift. Either the person who didn't value you will realize their mistake and come back, or they'll fade out of your life, leaving room for those who see you for what you truly are. Either way, you win. 6. The importance of self-awareness and reflection. When someone stops valuing you, it's natural to feel anger, frustration, or even sadness. But the true power lies in how you respond. You must stop blaming others and look inward. Reflect. Ask yourself, why am I tolerating this? This isn't about pointing fingers. It's about taking control. Know thyself, as Epictetus said. This principle of Stoicism isn't just a quote, it's a command. Self-awareness is the key. The more you understand your own behavior, your patterns, your emotions, the more power you gain. The Stoics understood that life's challenges are not to be feared. They are opportunities for growth. This is where you master the art of responding, not reacting. When you step back and reflect, you recognize the choices you've made, the actions you've taken, and the habits you've allowed to form. Why are you stuck in this dynamic? Why do you keep accepting less than you deserve? Take ownership of your role in the relationship. Be intentional. You must consciously decide where to invest your energy. If someone doesn't value you, understand that it's not just about their shortcomings, it's about how you're handling the situation. Are you acting out of desperation? Are you holding on to something that's no longer serving you? Let go of the need for validation. You are enough. This is the power of Stoicism, teaching us that we are in control of how we respond. You must make a conscious decision to break free. This process is liberating. You take the reins. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You must recognize that your peace comes from within. If a relationship drains you or leaves you undervalued, it's time to make the bold decision to walk away. Don't tolerate disrespect. Recognize the moment for what it is. A lesson. Your life. Your rules. The more self-aware you become, the more intentional you'll be with your time and energy. Let go of the notion that you need anyone's approval. You don't. You're the master of your destiny. Take control of your life. Your happiness is yours to command. Remember, you don't need to be valued by someone who doesn't understand your worth. The Stoics didn't back down from adversity, they used it to win. They understood that to live a virtuous life, they had to remain true to themselves, no matter what others thought or did. Epictetus's wisdom can be your guide. You have the power to choose peace over conflict, to choose clarity over confusion, to choose strength over weakness. When you look inward and understand your own worth, you won't settle for anything less than respect. This is the Stoic way to win. If this message spoke to your heart today, leave a comment about faith. I am a high-value man. 7. The power of consistency. When someone no longer values you, it's easy to feel the urge to chase after their approval, to beg, or to bend over backward trying to prove your worth. But that's not the answer. In fact, it's exactly the wrong approach. Instead, you must take a page from Old Stoic Wisdom, which teaches us the power of consistency. There's nothing more powerful than staying true to yourself and maintaining your boundaries, no matter how tempting it is to overcompensate. You don't need to be available at every beck and call, and you certainly don't need to give more than what's reasonable. The key to earning respect in any relationship, whether personal or professional, lies in your ability to stay steady, firm in your principles, and unwavering in your integrity. An iron mind, one that holds fast to Stoic principles, doesn't bend with every passing whim or emotion. When you show up consistently as your authentic self, not desperately trying to win them back or seek validation, the other person will take notice. That is the quiet, powerful magic of Stoicism at work. Relationships that thrive don't rely on inconsistent emotional highs and lows, but on mutual respect, steady understanding, and clear boundaries. If you constantly overextend yourself, you lose the very thing that commands respect, your own value. Don't let others dictate your worth, and don't beg for their attention. Instead, stand firm, respect yourself, and let your consistency speak volumes. By asserting your needs consistently, showing up for yourself without expecting rewards, you subtly remind others of your worth. This doesn't mean you should expect everything to be perfect, but it does mean that by aligning with Stoic principles, you refuse to settle for anything less than the respect you deserve. 8. The importance of letting go and moving on. When someone no longer values you, it can feel like a punch to the gut. It's not just about the loss of appreciation or respect. It's about feeling invisible, unimportant, or worse, disposable. No one likes to feel like they're being taken for granted. But here's where the power of Old Stoic wisdom comes in. You see, Stoic principles aren't about suffering in silence or clinging to relationships that don't serve you. They're about understanding the critical importance of knowing when to step back, reflect, and move forward. When someone stops valuing you, it's not the end of the world. It's the beginning of a journey to reclaim your peace, your worth, and your strength. First and foremost, let go. The Stoics often taught us that we cannot control others. No matter how much you may want someone to see your value, you cannot force them to do so. You cannot make them respect you, nor can you change their behavior by clinging to the hope that they'll one day recognize your worth. The Stoic rules tell us that we are only responsible for our own actions, thoughts, and attitudes. So when someone continually fails to appreciate you, it's not about forcing a change in them, it's about deciding that you deserve better and choosing to walk away. Don't let your happiness depend on someone else's opinion of you. Don't waste your time, energy, or heart on someone who isn't willing to value you. That's the first step. Let it go. But letting go isn't a form of giving up. It's not about quitting or admitting defeat. It's about self-preservation. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose your relationships and your boundaries. The Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that we have a responsibility to protect our inner peace. If someone is constantly disrespecting you or failing to value your presence, they're undermining that peace. And what do the Stoics say about peace? It's something you should guard fiercely. You must protect it because your peace of mind is invaluable. Letting go means recognizing that you deserve more respect, more appreciation, and more connection. It means acknowledging that your worth is not determined by how others treat you. The old Stoic way is to take full ownership of yourself. Worth. You must choose relationships that honor and uplift you. The Stoics believed that we should never compromise our integrity or our self-respect for the sake of maintaining a relationship. Letting go of someone who doesn't respect you is an act of love for yourself. It's a decision to honor your value and move toward relationships that align with that value. It's a direct application of the Stoic principle of self-control and self-respect. Once you let go of these toxic dynamics, you make space in your life for healthier connections. Be ready for the good that will come into your life once you've made room for it. It's like clearing out the clutter in your house. You have to get rid of the old broken things before you can make room for something better. When you detach from those who don't appreciate you, you open the door to people who will. You give yourself the opportunity to meet others who respect your boundaries, see your worth, and treat you with the dignity you deserve. This is the beauty of letting go. It makes way for personal growth and positive change. The process of moving on also allows you to reconnect with yourself in a way that's truly transformative. Have you ever noticed how much of your energy goes into maintaining toxic relationships? When you step away from these situations, you reclaim that energy. You free up space in your mind and heart for new experiences, new goals, and a renewed sense of purpose. The Stoics were masters of focusing on the things they could control, and one thing you can control is your own energy. When you redirect your focus from trying to change someone else's behavior to nurturing your own growth, you become more resilient, more at peace, and more able to attract the kinds of relationships that nurture your soul. The Stoic principle of focusing on your own actions rather than trying to control others is critical here. You cannot control how someone else feels or behaves, but you can control how you react. The Stoic rule is to not be ruled by external events or people. Instead, you must rule your own responses. This means that when you're faced with someone who doesn't value you, your best course of action is to calmly assess the situation, decide what's best for your own well-being, and let go without resentment. It's not about vengeance or anger. It's about moving forward with your dignity intact, knowing that you are worthy of better. Be the one who sets the standards for how you'll be treated. Don't let others define your worth based on their lack of respect or care. The Stoic teachings advise us to cultivate an inner fortress of strength so that no external force, whether it's a person, a situation, or an event, can shake our sense of self. When you learn to value yourself in this way, you will no longer tolerate mistreatment because you know that you deserve far more. The Stoics teach that we must seek virtue above all else, and virtue is about living in accordance with your true self. If someone fails to respect you, that is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their inability to see your value. And let's be real. Letting go can be hard. It can feel like a betrayal or like you're abandoning something important. But the Stoic mindset reminds us that attachment is the root of suffering. It's the attachment to people, things, or outcomes that causes us pain. When you let go of toxic relationships, you free yourself from that suffering. You allow yourself the space to heal, grow, and find relationships that are aligned with your own values and vision for life. You must remember, letting go is not weakness, it's strength. It is a decision to prioritize your own growth, peace, and happiness. It's the old Stoic principle in action. You cannot control others, but you can control how you respond. And in this case, your response is to step away, to preserve your dignity, your energy, and your mental well-being. It's a powerful act of self-respect. So when you face a situation where someone no longer values you, take a deep breath. Reflect on the wisdom of the Stoics. You cannot control others, but you can control your own path. It's time to walk away from what no longer serves you and make space for the good that is waiting to enter your life. Letting go isn't giving up. It's claiming your worth and making a conscious choice to move forward. Be brave. Be stoic. Let go of what no longer serves you and watch how the world opens up to the incredible, valuable person that you are. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share with anyone who could benefit from this wisdom, and subscribe to Stoicism for more insights into human behavior and relationships. Remember, when someone doesn't value you anymore, it's important to focus on your own worth. Don't chase after people who've decided you're not worth their time. Instead, use that energy to grow, invest in yourself, and live by your own values. People will see that, and if they truly care, they'll come around. If not, you'll be just fine on your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.